Today, we're in a little bit of trouble here on number 14 at Native Oaks. I'm going to show you how to get out of it so you can lower your scores and have more fun on the course. In this challenging game, many people struggle the most with making solid contact. My name is John Gray, head golf professional at Native Oaks Golf Club and your host of the Gray area. Let's get to it. So we're over here at number 14 and we've come up against these trees again. Now, first off, I want you to understand that there's about 4 different options that we could do here. First, we could go underneath the tree. This one we could potentially go over. We can go around the left side, or we can just chip out. Now, first off, I want you to think about this. If you're just trying to lower your scores, the number one way to do that is to limit your big number, okay? If we try and go over this tree or under it, there's potential for having a high number on the hole, right? We could hit the tree, we could knock out of bounds, anything can happen. The number one way to lower that score is probably to pitch it out to the left a little bit and go ahead and hit it on the green from 50, 60, 70 yards, wherever you came to. Now, let's say we want to be a little more aggressive and try and get it to the green, or maybe right next to the green in the bunker, somewhere right next to the green. Now, we have an option of actually going over. Now, one thing I want you to know is the higher that we hit the ball, the shorter that it's going to go, right? If I take my lob wedge out and hit a ball, it's going to go much, much higher, much quicker than if I hit a 4-iron. So I could potentially get over this tree if I take out something like a lob wedge. The problem is it's going to go up so fast, I can't still hit it far enough to get it to the green. So I'm still going to run into the trees. Now, one way to kind of gauge whether or not you can get over the tree, I have 2 clubs here. So I pulled out a 7-iron and basically my sand wedge. One of the simple tricks you can do just to see how high the ball is going to launch is to set it on the ground, okay, face pointing up towards the sky, and then more or less just step on the face. Okay, the shaft of the club is going to come up, and it just gives you a good indicator of where the ball is going to go. Right? Is it going to go straight up in the air or more vertical? Okay. Now I've pulled out that sand wedge. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to step on the face, and you can see that the shaft of that club goes much more vertical. So very likely I could hit this club up into this gap, but it's still a really, really high risk shot, and I probably can't hit it far enough. So I'm not going to do that in this option. If you're 50 or 60 yards from the green, maybe that's an option for you. So something to keep in mind. Now, option number 2, right? We could go under, but I'm thinking we're going to go around. Okay, we want to curve the ball from left to right. Now, again, this is a risky play too, because if it doesn't curve, I'm going to go in the trees and be out of play. That's not a good way to lower your score. But let's just assume we want to have some fun with our friends and try and show off. So how are we going to do it? So first off, if I try and do this with something like a wedge, there's too much loft on the club and I can't get the ball to spin sideways enough. So I'm going to take, what was that club I pulled out? I'll just take that 7-iron. And what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to obviously have to aim left, curve the ball around to the right. So the couple ways we're going to do that. Number 1, I don't want the ball back in my stand. So number 1 is I'm going to aim a little bit left. I'm going to turn the club face open a little bit to the right. Probably not all the way to the hole. That's going to be a lot, but a little bit. Okay, I'm going to aim out to the left. I'm going to have the ball middle-ish, a little forward of my stance. If I move it back too much, it actually promotes a draw, believe it or not. So I'm going to do that. And then the last piece I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make a swing where I actually swing the club a little bit out and come down and cut across the ball, right? I'm right-handed, so I'm going to try and swing from the right side of the ball to the left as I come into it. And that's to try and get the axis of the ball, but I'm going to try and get the spin of the ball going out to the right. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's give it a shot. I'm going to aim actually a decent bit left of where I actually want the ball to start, because it's going to take off a little bit right of where I'm aiming my body. So again, I'm going to aim out to the left a little bit of where I actually want the ball to start from. I have the ball middle edge a little forward in my stance. I'm gonna have the face of the club open a little bit, and then I'm gonna take the club out away from the ball and try and come down and across it to the left. See if we can pull it off. Well, that's why you don't do that if you're trying to go for low scores. I actually hit it really well. It was curving, but I caught a branch that was sort of in the way. But again, that's what we're looking for. We want to look for trying to eliminate our mistakes. Okay, the better play would have been to pitch it out to the left or run it underneath the trees. When you go out and play, pay attention to where your ball is, how it's lying, what's in front of you, and then what's your best option to lower your score. If you keep those things in mind, you're much more likely to make a better decision, lower your scores, and have more fun. We'll see you next time.